The stench of scorched metal and ozone hung thick in the Dauntless's corridors, a grim counterpoint to the frantic beeping of damage control alerts. Captain Elias Vance gripped the command chair, knuckles white, watching the tactical overlay. The Dauntless, a proud Defiant-class cruiser, was bleeding atmosphere. Behind her, huddled like frightened children, were the 3 colony ships, Hopes, Horizon, New Dawn, and Promise, carrying the last 12,000 survivors of Elysium Prime. The planet, violated by the relentless insectoid Zilok hive, now glowed. A sickly radioactive amber on the view screen, a tomb for billions. Shields at 18%. Captain, Lieutenant Maya Chen reported, her voice tight. Port thrusters are gone. Dorsal battery 3 is offline. 3 more swarmers closing on Promise. Elias didn't flinch. His eyes, hard as flint, remained fixed on the swirling, chitinous horrors darting through the void. The Zilok didn't conquer. They consumed planets, people, hope all violated, stripped bare, turned to fuel for their endless expansion. The Federation had promised protection. The Federation had broken its compact. Now, only the Dauntless stood between the swarm and oblivion. Target those swarmers harassing Promise, Elias ordered, his voice a low growl. Concentrate fire from batteries 1 and 2. Chen, give me everything we've got left in the ventral thrusters. We need to interpose. Aye, Captain. The bridge. Crew, faces smudged with sweat and soot, moved with desperate precision. The Dauntless, groaning in protest, lurched sideways. Pulse cannons spat coherent light, tearing one swarmer apart in a silent blossom of fire and chitin. Another veered off. Damaged. A proximity alarm shrieked. Massive energy spike. Capital vessel emerging from slipstream. Chen yelled. Ilias's blood ran cold. Not more swimmers, something worse. On the view screen, space rippled like disturbed water, then tore open, not the jagged, organic tear of Zilok FTL, but the clean, geometric distortion of Federation drives. The sleek, silver-hulled FSS Arbiter, a Guardian-class battleship, glided into the combat zone. Hope, fragile and desperate, surged through Elias. Reinforcements. Salvation, open a channel. Priority 1. Elias barked, the cum crackled. This is Admiral Jacques Corvus of the FSS Arbiter to GSS Dauntless. We read your situation. Admiral, Elias couldn't hide the relief, thank God. We have 3 colony ships with the last of Elysium Prime. Shields failing, critical damage. We need immediate cover to facilitate their jump. There was a pause, chillingly long. Captain Vance, Corvus's voice was devoid of warmth. The situation has been reassessed. Elysium Prime was deemed strategically untenable. The Zilok incursion exceeds projected containment parameters. Elias froze. Admiral, what are you saying? The Arbiter is not here for extraction. Captain, we are here to enforce Directive Sigma 7. The Elysium survivors represent an unacceptable contamination risk. The Zilok biosignatures detected within the refugee population are too pervasive. The words hit Elias like a physical blow. Contamination risk. These were people, doctors, engineers, children who'd watched their world violated, their families consumed. The Federation wasn't just abandoning them, they were condemning them. The sacred compact protection in exchange for allegiance wasn't just broken, it was being ground into dust. You can't be serious. Commander Rivas, Ilias's XO, choked out beside him. They're civilians, our people. Directive Sigma 7 is clear, Commander Corvus replied, his voice like ice. The survival of the many outweighs the survival of the few. And the risk of Zilok infiltration, compromising other core worlds, is absolute. The colony ships are to be neutralized. Stand down, Dauntless, disengage and prepare for docking. That is an order. The bridge fell deathly silent. The only sounds were the frantic beeping of damaged systems and the ragged breathing of the crew. Elias saw the horror reflected in their eyes, the betrayal, the utter violation of everything they'd sworn to protect. Elias closed his eyes for a fraction of a second. He saw his wife's face, lost on Elysium Prime. He saw his daughter, Sarah, safe on Alpha Centauri, thanks to an Academy scholarship. He saw the faces crowding the viewports of the Promise, terrified, hopeful, utterly unaware of the execution order just issued against them. He opened his eyes. The flint was gone, replaced by a terrifying, cold fire. Admiral Corvus, Elias's voice was unnervingly calm, carrying across the silent bridge. The Federation may have abandoned its duty. The Federation may have broken its word, but the Dauntless has not. We swore an oath to protect humanity. All of it. He turned to his crew. Their fear was still there, but beneath it, a dawning fury, a righteous defiance. Helm, full power to remaining thrusters. Set collision course for the Arbiter. What? Corvus's voice crackled, disbelief turning to alarm. Vance, you are relieved. Stand down or be fired upon. Tactical Elias ignored him. Divert all remaining shield power aft. Protect those colony ships. Reroute life support, weapons control, everything to engines. We are the ram. Captain, Chen whispered, tears streaming down her face. Not of fear, but of fierce pride. I thought, Captain, diverting all power. The Dauntless, mortally wounded but defiant, surged forward. Not away from the Zilok but towards the Arbiter, the symbol of their betrayal. Federation point defense lasers lanced out, splashing against the Dauntless's weakened aft shields, now bolstered by the ship's dying lifeblood. Dauntless, this is your final warning. Corvus screamed. Elias gripped the arms of his chair. He opened a fleet-wide channel, his voice echoing not just to the Arbiter and the colony ships, but to any listening post, any survivor who might hear. People of Elysium, people of the Federation, hear me. They betrayed us. They broke their compact. They would sacrifice you to their fear. But humanity is more than fear. We are the ones who stand when others fall. We are the shield. We are the Dauntless. He switched to a tight beam, aimed solely at the Promise. Sarah, if you hear this, I love you. Always tell them. Tell them we chose. His voice cracked only slightly on his daughter's name. The Arbiter's main batteries glowed, powering up for a killing blow. The Zilok swarmers, sensing the shift, closed in on the vulnerable colony ships. Elias Vance took a final breath. For Elysium, for humanity. Ramming speed. The Dauntless, a burning spear hurled by Defiance, struck the Arbiter amidships, just as its main guns fired. The Federation battleship's shot went wide, searing past the Promise. The impact wasn't a clean hit. The Dauntless was too broken, but it was enough. A cataclysmic explosion tore through the Arbiter's flank, crippling its engines and primary weapons. Debraxel rained down, colliding with pursuing swarmers, creating a chaotic debris field. In the sudden, stunned silence that followed the shockwave, the three colony ships, shields flickering but intact, powered their jump drives. The swirling blue vortices of FTL opened before them. On the bridge of the Promise, a young woman named Sarah Vance, who had listened to her father's final words through trembling hands, watched the expanding fireball that had been the Dauntless and the crippled Arbiter. Tears streamed down her face, hot and fierce, not just grief, but a burning, unbreakable pride. They had been violated, betrayed, condemned, but her father, and the crew of the Dauntless, had shown the galaxy the inviolable core of humanity. The refusal to abandon their own, the courage to defy tyranny, and the ultimate price paid for the promise of tomorrow. As the stars stretched into lines, Sarah whispered the words that would become a rallying cry for a shattered, defiant people. We are the Dauntless. The compact was broken, but humanity's spirit was not.